You are not special. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. When you solo queue, you're gonna play with toxic people, griefers, throwers, boosted players, whatever word you want to use to describe these shitty players, you're gonna play with them. You're thrown onto a team with 4 other random people, it's unlikely that you're going to get a perfect dream team. The problem is when you, in your brain, start thinking that you're so unlucky, that this always happens to you, that you're the one that Gaben has assigned all of these terrible teammates to. It's not true. I'm sorry. It is not true. Everybody plays with those people. Everybody. And at some point, somebody's thought that you were one of those people. I have no doubt about it. Somebody's definitely thought that I was one of those people, right? So the key is to learn how to play around them, whether it be muting, whether it be trying to keep the team together through voice comms, whether it be just playing around them, right? If somebody's not using their mic, reading their body language, I'll talk about that later. The key is to still try to win. If your goal is to get ELO, you can't have this frame of mind of I am so unlucky, I always have shitty teammates, because that's gonna make you give up on games so quick. It's happened to me so many times. I've had to pull myself out of these mental ruts of, God, why am I so unlucky? You're not going to improve with that mindset, and you're gonna win fewer games with that mindset. The other thing is, you don't realize how many times you've won games because that is happening on the other team. When it happens on your team, it's super obvious, right? You hear the voice comms, somebody's throwing, somebody's being shitty. But when it happens on the other team, most of the time, you don't realize it. So you've been gifted a lot of wins because of this exact same thing. And in that case, right, you are the lucky one. I am also lucky enough to thank the sponsor of this video, SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a trusted automated CS2 trading site. It's super easy to use. All you have to do is pick something in your inventory, check how much it's worth, and then go get something new from the monkey. What's also super nice is the filters you can use to narrow down your searches. You can either use your skins to trade for new ones or deposit money with their 30% bonus offer. This becomes 35% when you use my code Wilson. Please use it. Using my code, you can also get up to $5 for free. Use my code Wilson, link is in the description. Everyone has their opinions. Don't let them take your confidence away. When you are playing a clutch, let's say it's a 1v1, you make a mistake, you do something bad, you lose the clutch, people are gonna say, you should have done this, you're so bad, blah, 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 whatever they're gonna say. The easiest thing you can do both for yourself and for your team to move on from mistakes is just to say, my bad. Yeah, I should have done that, or I should have done this. You just acknowledge, yeah, I made a mistake. It's so easy to move past it. The other thing you have to think about that, it feels really bad when you have a very visible mistake, right? You lose a clutch, all 4 of your teammates are watching you. Throughout a match, every player makes hundreds of mistakes, and those are less easy to see for your teammates or for you, but everybody makes constant mistakes. Often you're just unlucky enough that your mistake was visible for your whole team. Mistakes are just a natural part of Counter-Strike. You have to make mistakes to get better. Don't let it screw your mental up. Don't let it make you lose confidence. Just say, my bad, and move on. The way you interact with your team through your voice comms is a skill in of itself, and it can win you games. One thing that relates to my last point about, opinions and criticizing plays is that the phrase should pretty much always never be said unless it's going to have an immediate direct impact on following rounds. When you see somebody make a mistake in a clutch, let's say, and it's so glaringly obvious what they should have done, just don't say it. It's so hard not to, but don't say it. Just say, nice try. You have zero stake in that player's development, trying to get them to be a better player, right? Who gives a shit? You're never going to see them again, most likely. Just say nice try. Because if you say you should have done this, it might just ruin their mental and they'll just play worse the rest of the game. Nice try, move on. With your communication, you can do a lot, right? So one thing that's important is setting up a CT side default. When you get on CT side, call where you're going to play and try to organize what's our default going to look like, who's going to play where every single round, what's the expectation. The other thing is giving info in terms of numbers. Instead of saying it's A or it's B, be specific, right? I can hear 3 car on Inferno, 3 towards B right now, right? So instead of just saying it's A or it's B and causing bad rotates, be specific with your numbers based on the information you have. Keep guesses to yourself unless they're very educated and you feel very confident in them. And if that's the case, then make it clear that it is a guess. I think that there's 2 coming towards B, or I think they're gonna go A, right? Just make it very clear that you don't know for sure, that this is just a guess, because if you give comms that sound like a fact that are guesses, you might throw around, you might tilt your teammates. It's not good. The last thing with your comms is try to make shit happen, create plays, whether it be you're flashing for a teammate or you ask a teammate to flash for you, or you say, I'm gonna go up banana, someone come and trade me, right? A lot of people like to jump in and become pug IGLs. It's bad. Don't be that person. Understand that in these games, people are going to do what they want to do. They're going to play the way they want to play, and you have to adapt around that. But you can ask for things, right? Not command. You can ask for things and try to make shit happen within your team. This might be the most important mental concept I have to give to you, and that's fuck your ELO. Who gives a shit? Your ELO is just this vanity marker of your skill. Fuck your ELO. Play to improve and play to win games and play to have fun. If you focus fully on your ELO, it's going to cause you to tilt out of games. It's going to cause you to play to not lose. That concept of playing to not lose, where you play too passive, you play in a shitty way that you're not confident. And it's also going to cause you to get mad at people because you're blaming them for losing your ELO. Right? It screws your mental up when you focus on your ELO too much. So fuck your ELO, just play to improve, play to win, and play to have fun. Now that we've talked about teammates and mentality, let's jump into the game and get to the practical things that you can do to get more kills and to win more rounds when you're solo queuing. A key concept about winning rounds when you're solo queuing that you have to understand is that you have to play with the cards that you are dealt. We talked about this idea from a broader perspective. You jump into a game, the teammates you get are the teammates you get, and you just have to win with them. But from a more zoomed in perspective, you can think about it in terms of positioning, right? You might have an idea of how you want to play a map, of how you want your team to default every round on T side on a map, but most likely your team is not going to do that. You are going to have to adapt and play around them in order to make shit happen, in order to win rounds. One of the best ways that you can do this is to stare at the minimap for the first 5 to 10 seconds of the round. Whenever you're just running from spawn to wherever you're going, stare at the minimap until the point at which you're gonna have to take contact. The point is that you want to be staring at the minimap so then you know exactly how your team is positioning at the beginning of the round. This then gives you the picture of how you should play or what you should do in order to ensure that your team wins this round based on their positioning. Let's say you spawn in and you want to go A, you want to go lurk A, but then you look at the minimap and you see 4 of your teammates running towards B. Nobody called a B rush, so that could inform you, hey, instead of going A, maybe I should come elbow and I should molly boxes so that my teammates can get up cat safely without being peeked from mid players jumping up on these boxes. Now, this isn't to say that you should be purely reactionary out of spawn, which leads me into my next point. When you spawn in, have a plan. It doesn't need to be this immaculate strategy, but just have something that you're going to go do. I'm going to run outside and I'm going to throw this cross smoke and I'm going to flash red and I'm going to go jump on top of this box. I'm going to peek outside, right? That's one plan. Another plan, I'm going to go ramp and I'm going to hold the push early. And then in the mid round, I'm going to go contact it and look for a pick, right? Or I'm going to go nade door and then look for this mini pick, right? It could be anything. Having something decisive that you're going to do out of spawn is so helpful because it gets rid of that indecision of you just not knowing what to do and being a little bit useless. Now, the key here is flexibility. When you run out of spawn with a plan, but then, like the last point, you're staring at the minimap and you see your team is doing something else, you have to be able to mentally shift yourself away from your set plan in order to do something that is more in line with what your team is doing. Coming up with a plan on T side is typically a little bit harder than it is on CT side. CT side, kind of your position determines your plan for you. But T side, you have so much freedom of choice that can be more difficult to decide what to do. But still, even on CT side, you should be thinking about how you're going to approach this certain area of the map, right? If I play ramp every round, I should be switching it up. I should be giving my opponents different looks almost every single round. If every single round I jump down ramp and I just play here, right? That becomes so predictable. Then the T's can counter strat that and maybe just peek it with an op. So the decision's already made for me. I'm going to go play ramp, but how am I going to play ramp on that given round? One concept that's weird to describe, and I talked about it earlier, is reading body language. And what that means is being able to tell a player's intentions from how they're moving and what util they're throwing. So if I'm back red with a teammate right here and he's here jiggling this, I can pretty safely assume he's about to swing it. So I'm going to get close to him, right? And wait for the moment that he swings, and then I'm going to swing with him. So then that way we don't have to communicate ready, swing, 3, 2, 1, I can just read kind of what he's doing and assume something and then do something off of that. This could also extend to awareness. If I'm here CT vent and I have a teammate here on default, I can look over and see, oh wait, he's not actually holding hut, he's holding an off angle here. So that informs me I shouldn't be standing here holding door, because if they run out hut, nobody's here to stop him. He's just holding an off angle here. They can just swing me and kill me while I'm not looking. So if I'm aware that, oh, he's playing an off angle, that tells me I shouldn't be standing here holding this. I should be backing up and maybe holding hut from here. And then when I take contact, boom, he's going to swing hut and he's going to clean up. You should be flashing for your teammates even if they're not asking for them. The secret is to just idiot proof your flashes. Flash high and behind your teammates. If you flash in front of your teammates, make sure you communicate it and make it very clear. But in general, most of your flashes that you should be throwing should be high and behind your teammates. For example, if I'm smoked off CT and jungle isn't smoked off and I want to flash for my teammates, I can just flash above trees here, above the palms, right? And anybody jungle can swing off of these, and they would have to very purposefully be staring up this way to get blinded by it. But if they're looking towards ramp or towards palace, right, they're not going to get blinded and they can swing and take action off of these flashes. My last piece of advice, and you might roll your eyes at me, but I don't care, it's how I improved at a very quick rate, was spending a lot of time in workshop maps. When you solo queue, a lot of your success is going to depend on just your ability to win gunfights. Solo queue, there's less team coordination. You're going to get a lot of 50-50 fights is what I'm saying. The spacing is worse. People aren't grouped as much. You're going to get a lot of fights, and to win solo queue games, you just have to win those fights. And a lot of those fights are going to come down to the bare basic fundamentals. Whose are better? Is your spray pattern better than your opponent's? Is your counter strafing better than your opponents? Is your crosshair placement better than your opponents? Is your peeking better, right? These fundamentals are so incredibly important, especially in solo queue, that if, let's say, you play 2 games a night, you have 2 hours set for Counter-Strike. If you play 2 games a night, I don't think you're going to improve as quickly as you would playing, an hour of workshop maps and then a singular game. It depends on what skill level you're at. At a certain point, once your mechanics get to a certain level, then you get into just games. But if you're still developing as a player, if you don't feel super confident in your fundamentals, grinding these maps and spending a lot of time getting really confident in your 5 to 10 bullet spray with your AK, in your counter strafing, getting really confident in these things is going to help you win so many more games. I want to thank you for watching this video, and I want to thank my channel members who are scrolling on by. Thank you guys for allowing me to be a goober on the internet. I appreciate you guys. Please consider subscribing or becoming a channel member. That would be awesome. Have a great day, and good luck and have fun in all of your solo queue games.